Got some of my shipping materials up top. We've gone through a few different iterations of setups inside of this shop since I had the channel going, but before that, this place wasn't set up like this. Let's take a look at what this used to look like before I turned it into a 3D print farm. So you can see that it used to be a pretty dark garage. We turned it into a wood shop, and I ran that in here for a year or so until I switched it over into the 3D print farm. The reason I'm telling you all this is more so because we have a new shipping station that I need to get set up today. One of the issues that I typically run into in here when I'm shipping stuff is the packing station is separate from where my products are stored, and it's separate from where all of the little bags are. Let's jump right into it. So my plan for the 4Dock shipping station is we're going to set it up right here. It's a 3-foot by 6-foot workbench. It's got a monitor arm attachment and then a whole bunch of other accessories that are going to go up top to make it easier for us to put our shipping stuff and some of our little packing materials, screws, business cards. So I'm going to get the couple boxes that they sent over into the shop and get them unboxed and see what it's going to take to get this thing set up. Hopefully not too long. So this table took a little over an hour to get set up and completely secured together. I did run into a few issues with some of the bolt holes lining up, but all in all, everything was able to come into place just as it should. Got all of the shipping materials, for the most part, stacked up here, and some, extra screws for some sander mounts, FBA labels, tape, things like that. That's going to come in handy. I won't have to go searching for every single time I have to pack up an order. The last thing that I want to get onto here is a monitor arm, get a computer set up over here, and get some of our printers set up for all of our shipping labels and stuff. So let's go do that right now. Okay, so the way that I have this set up now, I've got my monitor set up vertically over on the side here just to save some space, and I can fit a few more items on the screen. Got some of my shipping materials up top, my bubble mailers and bubble bags to store some of the products in that I ship to Amazon. Inside of every single one of these bins, I've got something different that'll help me along the way. 6x1-inch screws for the sander mounts. I've got these little bags that essentially are going to house these screws once these bags are gone. I've picked these little ones up at Dollar General or something just to get me by. Got a bunch of them all labeled up there. FBA labels taking up some of the other bins, along with some warning labels and key rings. Again, up top here, I've got some pre-labeled bubble bags that have all the FBA suffocation warning labels on them and stuff, just so they're prepared and ready to go. I've got my Munbin printer over here with standard 4x6 shipping labels, and then this V-Ready that I had from the beginning, I've got set up with the 2x1-inch FBA labels just so I can keep everything printing without having to go back and swap the labels out. Makes life a whole lot easier. Then over on the other side here, I've just got some CA glue and activator for assembling the dumbbells. Overall, this thing is really sturdy. Like, it's not going anywhere. It weighs a ton. It's going to be really nice having the monitor here and the computer screen so I can come to pack stuff up. When I'm doing Amazon, everything can be done from one spot. This table is 6 feet by 3 feet, which means that I can store things such as the postal bin without it really getting in my way when I'm packing stuff up. This rack is pretty much universal in terms of the table that it could be mounted to. So if you didn't want to pick up the workbench, but you did like this rack here, you can pick that up at their website, drill some holes in your current workbench, and you'd be good to go. Same with the monitor mount that clamps on to just about any surface. This is going to be a really great addition to my little print farm shop here, and hopefully will help me get a little bit more efficient and organized with how I send things out. If you want something a little bit bigger, they also offer this in a 4-foot by 8-foot workbench. So you could have 2 different settings, one set up on one side, flip another one of these around and have somebody else set up on the other side. For me though, the 3-foot by 6-foot one was just a better fit. Because this thing sits at an adjustable height, it can go anywhere from, I believe, 30 inches up to 36 inches. So if you're a shorter person, you can keep it lowered down. But if you want it at that taller height that's easier to work at, you can raise it up with a few little bolts here. What makes it nice at the 36-inch height is you're able to fit things like a trash can underneath and some extra shipping supplies and stuff like that. Whereas if you had it lowered down a little bit, you might not be able to fit this trash can. So just something to think about. Something else that's really cool about this rack behind me is that although I only have a few of the accessories to go along with it, you could purchase a few more of these and stack them going vertical or stack them going across. You're not limited to what you see here. So if I wanted to purchase a couple more of the bins, I could line this whole thing up. I believe they also have separators, so you could get these things with different dividers in them, so you have an easy way to separate all of your shipping materials and stuff like that. So I will have links down in the description below to 4Doc's website if you would like to pick up this or any of their other shipping materials or products for yourself. Again, thank you to 4Doc for sending this thing over and sponsoring today's video. Now let's get this thing put to use. I've got a couple dumbbells that I want to get packaged up and sent to Amazon Canada. I know I don't really need to because Amazon United States kind of partners with them. So anybody in Canada orders it, it comes from a US warehouse. But it would be nice if people up there are able to get the items a little bit sooner rather than having to wait extra couple days to get it from the United States. So over here, I've got dumbbells packed up, 12 of them to go off to Amazon. And since I've got a little bit of room left in the box, I also went ahead and packed up 6 of the Milwaukee sander mounts. I'm hoping will fit into here. Just like that. All right. So this box is going to come together pretty tight, but again, I probably don't really need to send these over to Canada, but I'm just testing the water, seeing if some of these products perform a little bit better in that market if I have items over there instead of them having to wait extra days for it to come from the United States. I'm only going to close up half of it because I think I'm going to have to put a customs form in there. But let's get a weight on this. We have 1.4 kilos, so we'll call it 1.5. We need to get the dimensions in centimeters, so 36 by 30. Call it 13 tall. We're at 1.5 kilos. It's not going to let us do half, so we'll do 2. Confirm and continue. Can put this away. Okay, so we've got a customs label that's inside of the box. I've got one on the outside as well. And I need to print out our FBA labels, or FBA label rather. This can go right on top. And this guy is all ready to go. So I know it might seem a little bit silly to some of you to send like 12 or 15 items over to Amazon, but I want to test the waters first before I start sending a whole bunch of products in, because then I have to pay for them to come back if they don't sell, or I have to pay storage fees if they don't sell. So it just makes more sense for me to spend, like you saw there, about $18 to send that product over, see if it sells. If not, then I can pull it back. And I'm not wasting a whole bunch of money with excess storage fees. The more that I have over there that's not selling, the more that Amazon is going to charge me. So we're going to start out with 12 and 6. And down the line, if these things do sell better than they're currently selling in Canada, I'll look into sending more of the products that I offer in the United States. So this obviously is a sponsored video, so take my word for what it's worth. But just from personally for me, for using this today, for the first half an hour or so, I can really see how this is going to increase my productivity and efficiency when it comes to getting things shipped out. It's so much easier having the computer here with all of the labels and everything set up the way it is. I do want to come up with something for all of these labels though. So while these labels do work fine in these bins, and it actually isn't that big of a deal. I feel like the bins could be utilized a little bit better. So what I was thinking is taking something like this. It's pretty much the perfect size to go across there. Maybe if we come up with a little bracket design or find something that we can hook inside of here, 3D print it, we can hook this onto it and then have all of our labels ready to go on a spool. Well, that's where this one's going to wrap up, folks. I want to thank you again for joining me today. I constantly feel like I'm making progress, or at least improving things a little bit each and every day, and I hope the same can be said for you. 4Dock gave me a couple discount codes, and I'm leaving those down in the description below. I believe it's $50 off of their 4-foot by 8-foot version of this table, and then $30 off of the one that I have here, the 3-foot by 6-foot. So if you are interested in picking this up for yourself, again, links are down in the description below, and thank you again to 4Dock for sponsoring today's video. I will see you all in the next one, folks. Take care, and I hope you have a successful week.